All right, first question. Feel free to talk your shit.
Cool.
Would you trade lives with Peterbot if it meant winning a global championship?
No. Are you out of your mind? Pete's fucking one of the best right now, if not the best. But yeah, I love my life. We got a life in, it sucks, but it is what it is.
What do you think about your future in competitive Fortnite? Like, are you going to keep trying to win a championship?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Even though it might not be right now, it'll happen.
So what would need to happen for you to quit Fortnite and move on to other ventures?
Nothing.
Just going to keep playing?
Nah, yeah, I don't care about money or anything. I just want to win for the fans. You see how many motherfuckers are screaming my name, dude? Like, I just want to win for them, bro.
Yeah. One more question.
I respect it.
Love you, bro.
Hey, are you doing yourself? Proud of you.
Yeah.
Always proud of you. This man right here, but it's not about the placement. It's about being as successful as you are and being as humble as you are.
Thanks, man.
There's not many people in your position that give so many people opportunities like you do, that actually blow them up, and like don't brag about it. They just do it.
Penis.
See, but you're old enough now. Which is
I
cool.
am.
Back in the day, we couldn't do this. So now that we're done, like,
yeah,
my room's got 2 beds.
Cool.
We could destroy both of them. Oh, you do have a penthouse. I'm actually have nowhere to go, so
tonight,
maybe I'll pull up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tonight's party. Pull up tomorrow.
Yeah, down to party.
I'll come through for a day.
Cool. Well,
Last
just gave him the fucking okay.
One more question.
Get it.
What was the moment you had the awakening to not just put your full focus into competitive, but also do business and social media stuff?
I mean, I was streaming everything when I was 13. So it's like, after I qualified for World Cup, I was like, all right, like, let's just say I don't do good in a tournament, I still have all the fans, all the streaming, all that to pursue. So it's kind of like a fallback just in case shit happens.
And what would you say to all the guys that just grind competitive and they don't put their focus anywhere else?
Definitely diverse. Try to do as much as you possibly can. You know, try to stream while competing and all that. You know, there's so many pro players that don't really stream as well. They're all idiots.
Yeah.
But they put the stream on for a little bit, gain a personality, and they gain a fan base to fall back on. So
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. What would you say to the guys that are still grinding competitive Fortnite today, but only competitive Fortnite? They haven't had the awakening and embraced different avenues of life yet.
Well, I'd say the same thing that I've told them from when I was a coach and when I was a player among them, and it'd be that you need to expand. I mean, you can't have all your eggs in one basket, right? Because if we go back to that concept of life being a video game and you have all your eggs in one basket, what happens when a bug occurs in that basket? It breaks. You lose everything. But if you have multiple baskets and, you know, a bug occurs here and now it's rendered useless for the moment until you fix it, well, now you have all these other baskets that are working. So when you're a professional player and only a professional player in Fortnite, and they break your game by adding in something that absolutely ruins the game, like wall hacks, which they have in Fortnite right now, actual legal wall hacks, that ruins your tournament. That ruins your game. And life is your game. It ruins your life. It really does.
Yeah.
These people grind their whole lives to come here off of the basis that some other idiot developer can add something in. He controls their life.
Yeah.
Like, it boils down to it being that simple. You grind 9 months to come play at a tournament, and the week before,
They could make an update that changes everything.
someone ruins your life.
Yeah.
9 months gone.
And you never know if they're just going to stop prize pools forever.
Well, it's not about that, because they probably won't. I mean, obviously, you take the opportunities that come to you in life, and some of them last 2 years, some of them last 4, some of them last 10.
But only grinding competitive Fortnite and nothing else. If they stop the prize pools, what do you have?
Well, that's why you have to build your personal brand, right? Because all these pros, they have big names, etc., but they don't make content. I had a name, and content was worth more than pro for me, because pro relied on Epic. Content relied on me. This is me. I can't lose if I invest in my digital real estate. So if there was one piece of advice, it'd be the same piece of advice that I'm giving all these Fortnite players or video game players, whoever's watching this right now. It's invest in yourself.
Yeah. What's the first game that you ever really tried competitively to be good at?
Oh, competitively. I'd probably say, as weird as it sounds, Minecraft. Like back in the day, like, I mean, for me, competitive, I wouldn't even say competitive. It's just like content creation is its own competition. So I would look at it for me as being Minecraft when I first started that.
So what made you have the switch from just playing Minecraft for fun to turning it into a living?
I guess just like all the avenues like that Minecraft allow you to do through like you know server creation and stuff like that, hosting your community. Yeah, I'd say probably just what the game allows you to do.
What would you say to a lot of the guys that grind either Minecraft or Fortnite all day, but just for really the fun of it, and they don't ever expand into content or anything else? They're just spending all day just to be good at it.
Yeah, I think there's like benefits to both sides. I think you look at Peterbot as a great example of someone who just grinds the game, doesn't focus on content creation or anything, but he's the best player in the world right now. So it's like it's kind of like, what do you want to assign your skill tree in a lot of ways? Do you want to be good at content creation? Do you want to be competitive? You can be someone like Clicks who's good at both. You can be someone like me who's more into content, but still likes playing competitive. It's just how you want to do it, really.
Yeah. What about the thousands of guys that play just as much as Peterbot, Clicks, but they don't ever place anywhere close to competing for here?
Yeah, I mean, that's the dangerous reality of competitive sport, competitive esports. Like, it's hard to be at the top. It's the 0.0001%. And that's why even for like people and everyone in power, I kind of talk to that a lot and try to push them towards content creation, because it is more about your journey and what you're doing versus just how well you play the game.
Would you agree that life is a video game?
Yeah, 100%. That's one of our mottos at Power, like for one of our merch drops, like, yeah, 100%.
What was the biggest realization, or what was the thing that gave you the biggest realization that life is a video game? What was that moment?
I think like the first time I met somebody in real life that knew me through my content creation like 10 years ago, it was like, wow, the things that I do online actually implicate and, are in the real world. And of course there's other things and avenues of like, making money and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, the things I do in this online game actually affect my real life.
Yeah. If you look at someone like Peterbot, who clearly only cares about Fortnite, doesn't care about health, cleaning his room, anything like that, even though he's the best in the world, would you still say that's a healthy lifestyle?
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know too much about like his, lifestyle.
Specifically, yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't really comment on that, to be honest. But it's definitely probably something I wouldn't do.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you wanna? Anything else you can think of? I think that's good. That was awesome, bro.
Yeah. No,
Thank you.
Do you?
Beautiful. All right. So, how many hours do you have playing competitive Fortnite? Just grinding.
I mean, grinding competitive Fortnite, that's tough, because I have over 10,000 hours of just me playing Fortnite in general. I would say probably like at least 500 hours are playing comp. I'm more of a content creator, but I do dabble a lot in comp.
Oh, really? That little? I
Yeah,
figured it would have been more. I don't know. I don't really want to ask like revenue, right? That's not really.
I mean, you can ask revenue. I'll answer it how I.
All right. All right. So, did you initially start as a competitive Fortnite player? Is that what got you into it?
So, while I didn't initially start as a competitive Fortnite player, I was already a successful content creator beforehand. My main appeal in early Fortnite was trying to be like one of the better players. So even though I was a content creator, initially, like especially in the early season 1, 2, and 3, I was regarded as like a top tier player. This is before the competitive scene even started. So a big part of the early Fortnite career for me was trying to be the best player.
That was when it wasn't about PR earnings. It was like, what? How many wins you have?
It was wins. There was also streamer tournaments and invitationals that I did well in. So it wasn't like the current scene for sure.
So I would consider you like an OG to the comp scene. So what gave you the big switch to go from kind of grinding competitive to really business and content full time?
Well, there was a big pivotal moment for me, which was during the Fortnite World Cup, right? I was trying to qualify for the World Cup. I was playing every single qualifier. I was really locked in. And what I had noticed is that like my viewership was actually kind of like declining a little bit, and like my subscriber count was declining, the better I did in competitive Fortnite, which was a little bit of a weird feeling to see that. And pretty much after the World Cup, my best placement was like a 4th place in one of the qualifiers.
Oh, you almost qualified.
Yeah, I was playing on West Coast, and they only had 1 spot per week. So I think we got 4th or 3rd, pretty close. We ended up earning a few thousand from the qualifiers, which was great. But the main thing that I realized is that at the end of the day, the content is still king, and content is consistent, because if there's no qualifying for content. If you're a great content creator and you build an audience, you're going to make a ton of revenue. You're going to be very successful. I see pro players come in they have 1 or 2 years, sometimes even less. Even like the best ones have only been doing it for like 5 years. But I've seen content creators make content for a decade plus. And it is hard to stay consistent and stay at the top in anything, but I think it's even harder to be a competitive player for a very long time.
You could also blow up as a content creator a lot quicker too.
100%. You can blow up a lot quicker. You also get brands and sponsorships, and you build a true community that isn't just there because you're good. And that's a lot of pro players. They have fans because they're good at the game, but if they stop being good at the game, they have a harder time transitioning those fans into actual like true fans.
Yeah. So back in the Fortnite World Cup days, what was your reaction when they announced the $100 million prize pool for the year?
That was like absolutely ridiculous amount of money, $100 million. I was just like, man, we got to take it seriously. I was ready to move from Texas to Virginia, where the servers were, and I had like a lot of arguments with my wife about moving. She convinced me not to. It was the right decision, right? I'll play on higher paying, but stay near home, stay near family, and just focus on my content. But 100 mil was ridiculous. I kind of had a feeling they weren't going to do that again because it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was to really drive a lot of hype, get a bunch of people inside. I feel like that was one of the main things that got a lot of people into the entrepreneurial mindset because they were like, holy shit, I can actually do this.
I definitely agree. I think like a lot of people they put limits on themselves, right? And maybe they feel like there's a cap to what their success could be. But when Fortnite came in and they're like, actually, we're going to put 100 million up for grabs, it's like all of a sudden all these pros and good players, they're like, wait, that could be me. Like I could be the one who goes out and wins a tournament and gets $1 million. And that really made a lot of the competitive players think more outside the box about what their actual limit is, you know?
Yeah, especially without any politics involved. You didn't have to get signed to a team. You just had to qualify an arena and then anyone could play.
I think that was the biggest things that really made Fortnite competitive successful because every other game, you have to try out for a team. You have to know somebody to even get a tryout. Yeah. It's just a lot more, gate kept, whereas Fortnite's just like, if you're good, there's open tournaments every single week for you to prove yourself.
100%. So during your competitive Fortnite days, what skills would you say you learned then that directly apply to your business life today?
I would say communication is really important, especially under high pressure or high stress. I mean, there's nothing like communicating during like a Fortnite endgame with a lot of moving parts, players. You need a refresh, you need to take height. Effectively communicating is not the same as just communicating. So there's a form of effective communication that I feel like I developed competing in Fortnite that directly like applies to my professional career.
That was an amazing answer. And then what do you think is the biggest reason why so many ex-professional Fortnite players, let me ask that again, fumbled that. What do you think is the biggest reason why so many ex-professional Fortnite players are millionaire entrepreneurs today?
Well, I think there's two parts, right? One, they realize that they can't be a Fortnite pro forever, and that's the truth for everyone, no matter how good you are. No one can compete for probably more than 10 years. And they start strategizing, what is my exit plan? What is my next step? Because they've achieved a certain amount of financial freedom. Maybe they're signed to an esport team. Maybe they are really good and they're making hundreds of thousands a year competing in Fortnite. But they know that window is going to close, and it forces them to be like, I want to keep this lifestyle. I want to keep this revenue coming in. What's my next step? And usually that leads them to entrepreneurship.
So basically, they saw it was possible to make money online. I usually say, like, the first dollar you make online is the hardest, but it's the best because that shows you that it's possible. So it's like, why would you want to go back to a job or be complacent at something that you know it's not inside of your heart when you've already done it? You just got to scale it up.
Exactly. For me, like I was a YouTuber for a very long time before I even got paid. And my first ever paycheck from YouTube had to have been like anywhere from $15 to $30. And that was like my paycheck every month from YouTube, like while I was in middle school and high school, right? The most I ever got in a month was $100 up until high school. And I valued that money because I was like, this is me creating that. This is me creating content that I'm passionate about and getting some money. Sure, it wasn't a lot and it couldn't pay the bills, but it kept me moving forward, and it definitely was a driving factor for me.
Do you remember like the very first dollar you made online, like that exact moment?
Yeah, it was my first ever paycheck from YouTube. I finally got like partnership. Now it's a lot easier to get AdSense, but back then you really had to go through a bunch of hoops. Finally got partnership, And after 30 days of uploading and everything, I got like a $14 check, and it was just like, it was a very special moment. I went and showed my parents immediately. They're like, well, you can't pay the bills with that, but good for you. Maybe you can buy like some snacks from school, and that's what I did.
That's awesome, bro. Anything else? I think that was great. Dude, that was amazing. Video games competitively?
No, I've always been terrible at every game I've ever played.
So always content?
Always content, yeah, never been good.
What made you want to go straight into content rather than grinding competitive like a lot of people?
I never really saw competitive as an option for me, once again, was always terrible. But I watched a lot of content, so it felt like a much more natural fit for me and my personality and who I am.
What do you think is a better route to go down? Being a competitive player and trying to compete in this, or starting content?
1000% content. Even if you are a competitive player, you should be prioritizing content as well, but make the content about you being good at the game. I think there's a lot of examples. You see Power do a great job of that. You see Clicks do a great job of that. Ninja early days did a good job of that. Fresh used to always do an awesome job of that. So I think even if you are good at the game, you should do it like on camera, film it, try. Like if you're insane, go do some stupid challenges. Go do something that's entertaining with your skill.
Yeah.
Because even like a big event like this is just content ultimately. So.
No, 100%. Someone like Peterbot, he posts like one video a month and he's the best player in the world. So much wasted potential.
I fully agree with you. Obviously, everyone's priorities are different. I think if you fully locked in, sure, maybe making content might hurt you a little bit, but I don't think it has to. And I also think it gives you, like Clicks didn't win today, but dude's doing fine.
He's still the biggest one here. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Dude's doing fine. So I think it just makes it a much more sustainable job, career, profession, and gives you much more opportunities.
And are there any important life lessons you use today in your business or content that you learned from playing video games?
I don't know if just playing video games, but I think just do it every day. I don't know. I think that goes for anything. Playing games, if you want to be good at them, if you want to make content, just do it every day. That's the only lesson I think that actually matters to anything.
Yeah.
Is just do it every day. Because if you're doing it every day, you'll understand more about it. Yeah, I don't know. I always just sum it up like that.
Would you say life is a video game?
We are probably all in a simulation. None of this could be even real. It could all be coded by someone.
By who?
I don't know, man. There's layers to this.
There's layers to
levels. There's levels to this, man.
One God.
I mean, sure, yeah.